on Dreamland, at least talent that I haven't had eyes on that have as invis. You want to make sure you have that push and pull. Surprised to see nobody, try to really commit there and commit after the fact. That's a little bit of a misplay, I believe, by the side of Dreamland, have been playing pretty lights out. Obviously, it is a best of 7 series. First to 4 will win this series. You don't want to be warming up for too long, though. That's a little bit of a misplay. I know they can play smarter than that as Chime finds Daze and starts turning that momentum around a little bit. Mace is going to fall here to scatter. Melophobia onto Chime. And this comp is really working for him.
Playing with a vengeance, and you know what? That's what you get from going from the lower finals. We saw that in Ignite midseason, right? Where people that had more wins didn't have it for Nemesis, they pulled back, and Dreamland didn't overcommit there. Do like the extermination there from Stinkers just to kind of seal the deal and make this thing reset. Mace now at 93%. Mace typically always on Vanguard. He does have Wolverine in his pocket if he needs to use it. We've seen this in the past. Love to see what he's got in store here. He's going to go for the kidnap, but there is a bit of a break there now as he's slicing, dicing, not connecting quite yet, and the invisible boundary does go up.
Clobbering timeout, and he does find Chuckles. That's one. Good follow-up there by Dinks. Can they keep...
They clearly practice what they're trying to accomplish here, though. We do have the kidnap coming there with the team up, and there's the first Berserker Rage. Maybe that's what they're waiting for there as Mace goes up, goes down. They do get the pick on Scatter, and then maybe we get a rotation here as they're heading down the hill.
Yeah, just burning a little bit of that front line should buy them some space as they head right back in. Chime going to commit with a supernova. A ton of damage onto the front. Team is going to regress backwards, though, as you should. Retake as a unit, but the tackle goes out by Mace. Feral Elite finds one, does not manage to get that KO, but great play there. Team is going to now elect point 3. This would be an insane attack as Craze is going to find Valentina, and the portal goes out.
Oh my, just absolute full vengeance from Nemesis or Roman Coliseum. Both the invisible boundaries forcing it up close, and it's the shotgun that ends the statement there. Could you ask for a better opening coming up?
It was prepped on the defense there by the side of Scatter, who was ready with that portal back. So great decision by Maze. Probably, metagaming, essentially finding out, hey, they might have seen that we did this last time. Let's hold off on the portal and bait out their portal. So big brain there by Maze, if that was the intention, as Scatter now going to maintain this high side angle. Ton of damage goes out. Now the tackle is thrown. Scatter going to find Jabori, and that's a good start here for the side of Nemesis now. Make that 2 as Mace falls. And even a stronger defense that we saw clearly from the last go as Scatter gets 3. And towards the back line, matched right back. Who takes this win, though? It's anybody's fight as Scatter cleans up Chime. Chime goes down. Melophobia onto Stinkers now. And wow, Nemesis looking really, really good. And alts are still being roughly even across the board as we go into our next fight with 2 minutes on.
Castle v castle for the final judgments, but it's the fortresses that are the tanks that get the roll done in the team fight 1. Gotta love it when it just comes down to the pure raw talent between here Chime and Melo, 2 very good duelists at hands. Another reset, minute and 45 to
now gonna reset. Stinkers onto Dinks, Daze onto Chuckles. These fights are so back and forth now as we're roughly even across the board, but down goes 2 more on the side of Dreamland as Nemesis walked this through.
What a textbook Agamotto by Mace, but no, Ricky had the test answers. Throw up the invisible boundary. They flip the script. Daze can see a limb on Mace there moving forward. And right now, you've got this kind of weird Daze versus their Wolverine, and then obviously the Mellow Chime show. And it's right now in favor of Team Nemesis as they're just trying to hold them back with somewhat ease. They got another final judgment ready to pop. The clobbering time. Look for some absolute vengeance coming from Frank.
Most value, it's anyone's fight. We'll find out now as everyone is putting a ton of damage out. Chime gonna find Melophobia, and that's a huge win. Chuckles now with another. Chime with 2. Jabori on a Scatter. Valentina onto Daze, and they are trying to match this up, getting to point 3.
It's raining ultimates here in the grand finals map 1. I mean, I swear, Ship, every Q was just pressed at that moment. But they got the job done, what's needed here, pushing forward. And I like Chime's approach here with the damage boost. Just getting enough pressure to allow the point all the way through. They're going to get so indeed here as they're going to cap it. 1 minute, 30 seconds. I mean, that's already a minute less than Nemesis has.
Patience there on the side of Dreamland, really only using Valentina at that moment. Now there's going to be almost 5 ults up. Soon to be 5 ults up for Dreamland in this final fight. Favoring them heavily if its touch can come through, and there, pushed right out of the boundary, tries to jump right back in. After the final judgment, Ricky goes down, Dinks goes down, and that's enough as the portal wall comes out from Mace. Beautiful play, and we are going to OT.
I mean, what you
loses the passive quickly. Still gonna reset, be healed up here. Melophobia taking a fair amount of damage, but does reset back to the team. 4 seconds on, they've got a touch here. 3, 2, and they do make the touch happen. It's all about this next fight. Mace coming back as Cap. Ton of damage onto Ricky, who does fall. Melophobia onto Chime. Numbers once again, but Stinkers takes out Scatter. Wow, what a fight here by Dreamland as they find another on a Craze. And they do look like they'll take fight.
Absolutely great finish there. Yes,
sure. As Scatter finds Chime, there's your answer. And Nemesis look like they'll take this point 1.
Absolutely perfect play there. How Chime even saw Mello setting up in the turret there. Not only gets the turret down, goes right for the headshot, takes out Mello. I mean, absolute incredible peak awareness, what you're expecting to see here at the top level of the grand finals. But yes, what a way to recover even through that. The portal back to say just already we have a different result, right? It was
as well. Goodbye to Magneto. That I do. Ooh, Daze is going to be on the Punisher actually as we're walking in right now.
Yeah, we see Mello versus Chime. That's going to be a big opening pick. What's going to happen with that now? Jabrori is going to be able to lock in that Loki, but Dinks, we've seen what both can do. Very similar comp. Love that crashes on Groot, especially for this first point. Really helps shut things down quickly. Dreamland now going for a quick back flank. Love this from Chime. He's going to go in for the dive and the not completion there, but he's going to go up and see if he can go and get some picks. Does finish off Daze, but Mello up top suppressed. Mello did not capitalize on Chime there. He was kind of, focused on getting the elimination.
And we see more pressure forward. Nobody following Token here. They're looking much more fluid as a team. Nemesis on their heels. Alt still up in advantage for Dreamland as we see some commitment now. We have the Nova up, and here we go with the end song. Damage boost out as Chime finds Daze. Daze goes down. Scatter goes down. Chime getting these early picks like it is his job. Make that a third. Stinker is going to find another, and they are walking now towards point 2.
Absolutely a wildfire out there, and you can't change the approach that you want. Daze is going to go to Winter Soldier, but yeah, Mello here has got to win these fights in the air, and right now it is all Chime as team backs it up. Chuckle's doing a great job too there on the land. They're both flying and on the ground. Doing it all here is Dreamland now. We do have a bit of an ult to try to counter things. Chuckles is going to get his kind of faux strategist ult there from the Vanguard, but they're making it past this first choke point. This phase 2 is so important to get the majority of this clock out because phase 3 just gets so much more pressure. Chime hiding though, and here it is, the fight about to clash. Chime going around the back end, trying to get another cheeky pick to start things out, Chip.
Yeah, we see a little bit of a difficulty there. Dinks copying early, trying to hold on to that ult, but only having around 15 seconds before having to commit with that ult to the dance floor gets matched. Here we go with the Psionic. Does this get value? Good idea to use that on height as Daze finds one. That's going to put them in a good spot right now. Up a number with ults out. We do have advantage here for Nemesis and ults. Melophobia popping. Do we see any value? Walking back towards them. Craze is holding on here, trying to make sure that Strangling Prison gets as much value, pulling out cooldowns, trying to get rid of those crystals there by and there it is, followed up, bang, down we go with the Kraken impact. Daze gets one. Do we see more commitment? Out go those lamps there from Loki, and again onto the clones to reset. This is why it's very difficult to run that Loki into Bucky like this, as we will see time and time again, just saving these clones, and now has the aggressive position, and here we go with the end song. Boom, down goes 2. Beautiful play by Dreamland.
Truly the encore of the in-song Chuckles. They used a lot to get that point, but hey, well worth it there. Going in for the full reset. They do have Ricky and Scatter going in, so I like what they have. Daze, we know that every Kraken has a name, and he knows every single one. What we just saw what that's able to do. Most importantly, though, Chip, they took so much time off the clock there in what was a pretty long fight. Minute 19, especially after that Entangled Prison comes. They've committed 24. Thought they were going to get more out of it, but Dreamland does hold firm here now as Chuckles pushing ahead, getting something going early. Looking towards what they've got. They have Stinkers, they have Chuckles. That's going to be a lot to get through the stairs here. And there we go. Chuckles activating, being that Avenger, leading the way for his team. But no, Daze, my goodness. He got the mobility off of what was probably a jump.
Yeah, that is brutal. May's gonna find a kickoff map there on Craze, and that's that part of the map I was referencing prior. A very strong Emma position here, evening the numbers. Both Vanguards down, coming back quickly with the spawn. Spawn advantage should be slightly on the side of Nemesis now. There's that good positioning, trying to find a kick, but no, does not able to make it happen. But Scatter falls here with some great focus there in the slightest, and I'm just double checking bans now to make sure Strange was not banned out, and I do not believe Strange was. So just a insane, attack there by Dreamland through point 1.
Yeah, and then force like the ult there. They had to climb the stairs out of position. Then at that point, they're able just to go in and finish the rest here as Chime is showing the absolute demon he is there on Johnny Storm, creating that storm for the team. Gotta love the 1-2 punch that they have rolling now. Now looking for coming in, they're going to try to touch. We did not see this in the side of Nemesl when they had the defense rolling. And this is why you do it, right? You just get a little bit of a stall and it could be enough, but a little too late. They use the portal and unfortunately not gonna stall more than a couple seconds here, Shim. 5 minutes. We got ourselves a match 2.
Yeah, this is crazy. I do think the portal was worth it, right? Any
4-piece from Days.
And it's matched right back here by Torch, and we all know how strong Torch can be. There has never been a game besides, I believe, one on my eyes where the team has not elected to match the Torch if available, and still was able to get the W. Torch is an incredibly strong, especially when you still have Invis and Luna on the table. Just so much pocket potential there, especially with your escapability like that. And now you see Nemesl, the whole team taking the long side angle here instead of that short turn. Make sure you take that into ladder. These are those small things that are going to help you understand how to win these fights. Now you have a long line of sight that you can play around down there instead of having to take that tight turn. So
going down, making the campfire snack. He finds 2 and burns him to a crisp.
Both strategists, are you joking me? Melophobia finds 1. Mace gonna get 2 more. It's definitely reset time if you're looking for the side of Nemesl. They are gonna hold on to every ult, but at this point, Dreamland now is virtually there with them. It's about this next fight and this next fight only. Can they outperform with a slight ult advantage of 2 ults here? Both strategists ready on both sides. It's about how many can they counter now in this fight. Chime holding on to the Supernova, but we know how strong, like you had mentioned, Craze can be with enough focus through that strangling prison, especially with Human Torch. It gets heavy onto that Luna looking up into the sky. Good retake here by the side of Dreamland, who group up together. And there is that Psionic once more. Craze very close to, scatter though on a Mace to shut that down quickly. Getting rid of those lamps. Cool very fast, and it looks like they're a meter away, but they find another pick. Craze now matching it right back. It's anyone's fight. Valentina onto Melophobia, and that is just such a crazy hold. Chuckles on a Craze. Is this gonna go back towards Dreamland? What a fight here. Another pick onto Ricky. Days onto Valentina. Chime onto Days. What is going on right now? And that should do it. Dreamland bringing this OT down to turn this around, because that...
And Valentina showcased
that one-on-one is very difficult if able to make that happen, but Jabori falls early here, and this is a Team Nemesl advantage. Chime going to be running. That Namor finds Days right back and puts the numbers even as Nemesl is holding on to point. At this point, Chime with a really good position is getting driven backwards a little, but is not going to have too much pressure on.
Nobody noticed Chime. He was like blended into the blue there. You see the Namor just like hiding in with the blessings of the deep. But yeah, I don't think Jabrori's... Look at these angles that Chime's taking. This is what you love to see from the duelist. Being away from the team, trying to get those picks early. We do have Shatter going early with the final judgment. They've got to come away with the W here on this team fight.
Days finds Chuckles, though, and that's going to put them up. They're committing a lot of resources here, Nemesl, but honestly, Dreamland still down in ultimate at this moment, but we do see the launch now from Ricky. Can they keep the pressure on? Nemesl trying to take this point back quickly. 38% and climbing for the side of Dreamland.
Important cooldown, Chip.
Yeah, the fish can be dangerous, but not when all these cooldowns are up. Out we go with the Psionic. This is looking dangerous. No shields in front. Melophobia goes down. Chime, that's enough value. Make it 2-3 as Stinkers takes out Dinks and Days. Scatter falls to the side of Chime, but Scatter takes out Jabori first. That does not matter.
I tried to do this last time on Domination against Nemesl, and they kind of backed out of it, right? So they're really looking for the angle, and they found it easily with the big switch and a little bit of abracadabra magic. Beautiful.
That was insane. That might have been one of the kidnaps of all time with a 3-piece, and they're following up, getting some more staggers as Melophobia falls now. One gets traded as Valentina goes down, but wow, they get the point early. They're looking like they're going to try to stall and make sure they take out Chuckles as late as possible, who is now going to try to off map, and there goes Chuckles finally, but great stagger there. But again, that idea of breaking the equipment first and making sure that Namor is far less threatening is how you need to take on that 1v1. So well done there. Something to take into your games. Nemesl up in alts as we head into this next fight.
Yeah, great call out there, Shaper. Right? Just the patience that we keep seeing from these players is one of the biggest things. That, you know what? Some of this can be done on team level, but that's an individual skill you can learn here in Rivals.
To the copy, we've got Craze ready with the Strangling Prison as well. Who's going to get more value? Numbers down again for the side of Nemesis, but they're still trying to retake this point quickly as 85 is on the clock here for Dreamland. Everybody committing everything now in this next fight. We'll see who gets more value. Stinkers applying that pass into everyone, and down goes Days now for them if they can make it happen. Here comes the whale. Does it land? Giganto does not get a pick though, and there is the end song. Mace gets a pick onto Scatter. Now Agamotto goes out. Mace shields it. Mace gets two. Melaphobia onto Valentina. Stinkers gets Days, and that'll do it as Dreamland takes map 2.
With the ore farm finish, the Agamotto for the exclamation point. My goodness, what a chaotic in there. The quick imprisonment to get the team through the portal to flip the script. But wow, great.
I mean, this is what I'm looking for in a finals here. These teams keep that low-key, get rid of the Luna.
Need the kidnap there early on Chime, one of their best players. Force the blessings of the deep, and then Craze just looked for him in the air. And it was like cinema coming together there as they do the biggest walk of death there for the Hulk of Chuckles. That was such a well-implemented job from Melaphobia and friends. Man, I'd love to see that from Team Name.
Stinkers, and that's going to put them back in good numbers as Craze uses the all from Hulk now. Going to just apply more pressure onto the side of Mace, buying more time, and it's matched right back. Oh my goodness, Scatter does get the pick on Valentina. Goodbye, Invisible Boundary. A lot is working out here for the side of Nemesis.
What has come from a stall has now turned into just domination on the mode itself. Great job and effort from right subs. No one likes to be benched. Doesn't matter the role you play, right? You know, you always believe in yourself, right? And so Maiden coming in here and be like, I'm that guy. I'm going to come in here, deliver my role, and he did so.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past. Give me the ball, coach, right? If you're confident and you want to get in the game and make something happen, I'm putting you in the game, right? You need that kind of confidence, especially as a duelist. Amadian coming in hot now. Ult advantage just barely up for the side of Jabori on Dreamland, but you're going to have Scatter and Amadian with ults before this fight even starts. So actually advantage roughly just barely on the side of Marine map, especially when you're fighting on point. But at this point, they're just going to stall tight on the high side, not allow them up here. This is those fights that you maybe don't see in ladder, but as you climb, these off-angle plays, these height plays are everything, and that is some great crystals, but it doesn't matter as Mace goes down. Stinkers again onto Amadian, doing what Stinkers does here on this Psylocke, finding a ton of value, but is it enough to win this fight? Dance of the Cutterfly ready, the Butterfly ready to make a play. I'm assuming we'll see that soon as we do see some of those cooldowns being popped. Nemesis with not much left here as I say that Dinks is now officially out. Chime gonna find Dinks. Goodbye. 1-2 just like that. Out goes the Boundary for the side of Ricky that's stalling and holding on. Craze and the point is holding off the strategist, but then back on point. They're just popping off. You've got Melaphobia with a two-piece. You got Scatter with one. You got Craze Man getting it all in the back line. The fact that they're doing that without strategist being there is just a sheer, just a feat of just popping off with ults and making it work even with no commitment. Melaphobia gonna commit.
Jabroy ready, but is Days trying to get by it? Finally gets it there with the undefeated copy of the Mantis now. At this point, just trying to keep this team in this fight here now. Melo getting closer as he does portal in at 74%, getting to that Agamotto, but Extermination coming out was delayed after the kidnap we saw from Melo. Going, popping in, but nothing from it right now. This is beautiful trades of sustain after sustain. Scatter going for the pick. He does get it, but traded by himself. Down goes Valentina. Chime with the trade. Stinkers goes from Dinks. It's looking like Team Nemesis is going to 99 at all.
Dinks just got a three-piece at the end of that for the win.
This team played, and so that's probably what we'll see. Maybe they go.
It's already at 91-3-5. That is wild as they're pressing in heavy now. Nobody falls just yet, but alt charge for Days. Valentina presses forward, and there it is. The Boundary's up early. Can they collapse and match it? And they cannot in time as Ricky falls. Great reaction time there by Valentina, who now owns this space. Can they get enough here to make this portal not valuable? Craze goes down too, and Ricky coming in with the portal. We're going to have to see a shift and a strategy. Somebody's gonna have to make that change if this touch comes through, potentially with the Hulk, but no, Dinks Scatter out of time. About 4 minutes and 20 on the clock right now. That is a lot of defense here as Ricky finds one. Chime goes down right after Stinkers falls, but alts are pretty much even across the board. Everybody going to be ready to press Q besides Chime, who used that whale in the last fight. So this is going to be an absolute Q fest very shortly, unless they really get some picks with some early ultimates. But I don't see that happening when the teams are this stacked ready with strategist line ultimates. Up we go on both sides. Bang, another. Why not see the invisible boundary out?
And the whale, but we are getting a good stall job. Craze is going to be staying with his team. He's going to be trying to get something rolling, but Chuckles in this backline just feasting ship.
All 15 Mr. Fantastic mains are losing their minds as Melophobia on the Fantastic. I don't think we've seen Fantastic play in nearly any performance at this high level. So trying to stall a bit there, but did not work out. Immediately goes down. I was expecting to see a change up, but hey, why not keep running Fantastic here on the defense? But 4 minutes on and the final point is obscene. Dreamland is walking right now and they cannot be. But this is a very defensible position. Spawns are so close. You need to start clutching up and change the momentum now. We need to see a change in composition as we do see goodbye to Fanta here.
It was a great 35 seconds there, guys. Great 35 seconds. Now, I mean, the payload has got at this point like rocket boosters on it, just going through phase 3 so easily. That momentum carrying through. Chime's got the whale ready at ease here, trying to get something rolling here with the quick get rid there, and he goes and throws it down, gets the pick on Ricky Mello to fall, and this is going to be one of the easiest points to grab as Dreamland cruises through for the most likely victory.
The Craze is still holding.
Awareness, the Stinkers is probably going to be making the way from the left in. Now team moves in there. They've got the health pack advantage. Craze there going on the top. And did he hit that Gamma from downtown?
I think it collided. I'm pretty sure we saw it the last frame there. Chime gonna keep the damage moving forward now. Dreamland just trying to hold the high side as you should on defense, but a ton of eyes all over the place. As a Madian now up in the sky with Ultron. Ultron can be very impactful on this map, making sure your backline can stay healthy too, putting that drone in the backline and not being afraid to shield up here in a dangerous position. Chuckles about half HP. Good damage from Chime on the side of Nemesis for the momentum, who's gonna find Jabori. What a retake here by Nemesis owning this point. And at this point, I'm not sure the portal can come through, and if it does, it will be a tough retake.
I mean, being able to hit that perfect of a juggle on a Vanguard is so crazy. The circus out here as they get the stagger there on Chuckles. Now, team opens up, jumps in, tick left here. They used a lot. Scatter does have the Agamotto. If they want to time this out to perfection, they'll see what they have to use here as they move into the fight here. There's the Agamotto. Comes out. One, two, and pop goes the Weasel. Dreamland out of it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, for those trying to learn from these pro plays, a ceiling with Strange equals a very quick ultimate, similar to something like Bucky, but instead, your momentum for Midian and Craze ready to press Q. Stinkers and Chuckles. Chuckles launches in now. Can they continue the pressure, but a ton of damage as Mantis from the side of... Are you kidding me? Melophobia turns and dome shots just in a millisecond. Beautiful shot there as a Madian takes out Chuckles. Chime onto a Madian right back, but the numbers are up for Nemesis as they keep moving forward.
Absolute gas coming from that last hit just to get rid of the ult moving forward. I mean, you could not have done that perfect. Scatter with what seems to be the millionth Agamotto hitting the entire team. The whale does delay the inevitable with just for a moment here. Minute 48, only 20 seconds behind the efforts. Oh, Valentina getting the big pick on Scatter, forcing them to push back. Chime to follow. Razor tight gameplay after what was
elect to use that, but the pull right on the back line of Valentina, they're committing heavy and they cannot make it happen. Amadian still finds Valentina, so it's traded off as Scatter goes down. Down goes a Vanguard and a strategist. Melophobia onto Chime, and that is huge for Nemesis now on the attack. Up another number, down a strategist for Dreamland, and they're using this positioning. They're gaining charge this whole time on point, and here comes the Q from Jabori. Ricky goes down. That could be enough here for the retake onto Dreamland as Chime is going to be portaling back. What a back and forth fight. Craze gets one, Melophobia another. It's such a trade fest here.
Absolute pinnacle job here as the teams go through the portals. It's not going to be enough effort as they're going to be pushing the Hulk body, the big thick man. Just dinks in the back.
Yeah, this is the most momentum-driven map, or at least push I've seen in a long time. OT at this level of play, heading towards map 3. Yes, I know momentum's a factor, but they're coming out on top with ult advantage in every single fight. The panicking is starting to ensue for Dreamland. Melophobia early again onto Chime, still holding onto these Qs, and there it is. The whale goes out, hits Mace on the high side. Mace in a dangerous position, burning all cooldowns. Melophobia gonna use that shift to just make sure that
there from the team. And yeah, I mean, listen, you Stinkers 60 seconds on. There goes the Agamotto out. Gamma shield though protects the entire family as Dreamland pushes in. Mello throws the whale down, gets the connection. Goodbye, Rory goes through the map ship. It's a beauty.
Yeah, that is the momentum. They're still walking now. They got plenty of time on the clock. Remember, folks, it's not over if this fight is lost. The team ship. Yeah, that's what you're looking for now from Nemesis. You just want them to commit ult and then to not get value, but they're committing everything. Dinks and Craze are popping ult. They're trying to make something happen. Valentina in a dangerous position gets dove on. Will that pick come through? Yes, Valentina goes down, but Scatter falls in return as Mace gets one. Numbers evened out, but being down a strategist, it's all about playing slow now, making something happen. Stinkers with the Rage of Ultron now towards the backline. Ricky in a dangerous spot. Goodbye, Ricky, as Stinkers gets a pick, and oh my goodness, that's a two-piece. Melaphobia on a Stinkers. That's two again onto Jabari, and they're still holding. Amadian onto Chime. Can they shut this down? All ults ready for Nemesis. They have to commit. This could be it.
Two squids down to get two heroes out. The whale comes in. The whole ocean's with it. They get the elim there on Mace. Now that's going to slow things down. And it's over. Nemesis with a minute on the clock end up taking the overtime.
Oh, is why they won that. Dreamland, that was an insane put the triple, and they can do it better than